Here we are at another Hardee's that's been closed down in this southeast. There's been a lot of these Hardee's that have been closed down recently. As you can see, this is an older store, and it's not a great location for a QSR. I'd consider this a C minus location. It's on a city bypass, not like at the main thoroughfare of the city, and so the traffic is primarily one way past it. So the location when this was originally constructed probably was better. And as time goes by, the pattern of the traffic has changed. The demand for Hardee's has changed, and the market appeal. So things change when you invest in these QSRs, even if they've been, and they're in their 15th, 20th year. It's still not guaranteed for the next 5, 10, 15 years. You got to be very cautious, especially with some of these secondary brands. And I go out here and I look at all these vacant ones. I look at investment opportunities and occupied ones. So you really got to know what you're doing when you're investing in these QSR. There's nothing guaranteed. Sites change. A great site when they were originally constructed is, second, third rate site. The brand's appeal changes. The leases have 5-year options that were put into a lease 15, 20 years ago, and the lease is out of date and doesn't provide a good return or investment opportunity. So sometimes you're locked in. Sometimes an old franchise will sit on and keep renewing, but the terms of the original lease and the renewal terms aren't appealing to the current investment market. So I go out here and I always tease about my $5,000-$10,000 phone call, and people don't realize, what? They invest millions of dollars either developing a new site, choosing a new site, building a new location. And there's so many of them that are only a couple years old that are closed down. It's different brands, not Hardee's. I'm talking about other brands, even Whataburger. It's not that they know what they're doing. I just want to push you on a site where the traffic count is good or something. So much more to determine a great QSR site for longevity or investment. So that's what I do. I make a phone call to me. It might cost you some money, but it might save $1 million. I might say, hey, forget that site. Try it. There's something else that's better. Or you might want to buy 3 or 4 or 5 of these and package them together. And you want to know, well, I buy 5 QSRs and put them together in a syndication. Is my investment going to be good, or is 1 or 2 of these locations borderline for possible renewal? Because what happens sometimes, you go to a non-national franchisor, a local or redeveloped site. Well, you got to know what the lot value is, what the lot appeal is for the next buyer. You don't want to be caught with a vacant store and a structure that's just out of date and can't be reused. You got to consider all that in your buying decisions.